How's it going? Nice to see you from a slightly storm-ravaged beach here on the Isle of Wight. Welcome back for another beach talk. Now, 20 years ago, I climbed Kilimanjaro, which is in Tanzania. It's the highest mountain in Africa, just under 5,900 meters. And I climbed it with a friend. We got a couple of guides. There's different ways to climb the mountain. You can do it in small groups, or you can do it like with a charity where you might be one of 25 people. And as an experience, it's amazing. It's a rapid ascent. I mean, it is a trek, but it's everything you probably have already heard about it. The sunrise on summit day is just fantastic experience. All in all, thoroughly recommended. Now, as an expedition, it is a trek, but it is a rapid ascent. Like for me, living in London at the time, you start your week at sea level, and then within 5.5 days, you're at 6,000 meters. Now, the dropout rate of Kilimanjaro is particularly high. For example, only 1 in 5 people who does the 5-day trek, so that's 3.5 days up, day and a half down, only 1 in 5 makes the summit, which is a phenomenal dropout rate. It's quite disappointing, really. Now, myself and a friend, we did a 6-day trek, which is 4.5 days up, day and a half down. So the extra day is an acclimatization day halfway up the mountain. Really helps the body acclimatize when you spend 2 nights at the same altitude. As we wanted, or as I've said before, to maximize our chances of making the summit. Now, in other posts you may have heard me talk about opinions and advice. An opinion is just a viewer judgment, so be careful whose opinion you take. But if you're going to take advice from somebody, I really thoroughly recommend it's always from somebody who's got the creds and the experience to do so. And I'd almost go one step further. On Kilimanjaro, we had what I would describe almost like an intervention. So the advice being, this is what you could do. The intervention is, this is what we're going to do. Now on Kilimanjaro, you will hear from all people you pass 2 words. First one is jambo, hello. And the second one is pole pole, which means slowly, slowly. Now, it's free advice from people who you pass. Just as a reminder, you're at altitude. The air's thin, not a lot of oxygen. It takes you a lot of time to recover, even from a very modest incline. And pole pole is one of those words that you will hear time and time again as you go up the mountain. But on summit day, you leave the final camp at midnight, just before midnight. And we were myself, my friend, we went with 2 guides. And on summit day, we were all ready to leave the camp. And our guide said, right, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go first, then you 2, and then our second guide. That was all fine. Kind of formed a little line and had our head torches on. And then he started walking. And he started walking so slowly, like this, 1 foot in front of the other. And myself, my friend, just looked around thinking, is this a joke? We're not going to make the summit. We're not going to make the crater for sunrise walking at this pace, surely. But we fell into this wonderful, steady pace. And there were people, maybe 120, go to the summit each evening. And you could see all their head torches. They'd all set off so much earlier than we had. And we just followed this pace the whole way. So it wasn't just pole pole. It was a pace that he knew from his experience we were going to take. And it was phenomenal. We didn't just catch up with people. We started overtaking people. We had a couple of breaks, but really just to have a drink of water. We didn't need to recover, and we weren't fatigued because we were walking at this pace. And even though everyone else on the climb up had been hearing pole pole for 5 days, the number of people turning around, the head torches turning around, people who were just struggling at the altitude and just turning around in their droves. And sure enough, we got to the crater for sunrise. It was phenomenal. We were first up to the crater and we were last out of the camp. And we followed this guy's pace the whole way up. And then when you get to the summit, you still have another 3-hour walk around, or when you get to the crater, you have another 3-hour walk around the crater to get to the summit. So phenomenal experience, but it could have gone so wrong if we had tried to determine what we thought Pole Pole was. And I still remember just that feeling of this is the slowest I've ever walked. So that stuck with me for 20 years. And I suppose from an intervention as an FD, I've dished it out. And I've also been on the receiving end of what I would call these interventions. And I suppose from your point of view, it'd be fantastic to hear similar experiences if you've had a killer piece of advice where it wasn't just the advice for you to determine how you implemented it. It was when someone said, this is what we're going to do. It'd be great to hear it in the comments below. It'd be great for other people to see it as well. Thanks as always. Thank you for listening and watching these. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers for now.